Just get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my.
Hey, let's keep it down. Speaker start.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peter Luo. I'm the co-founder of The Economy and Noise Photo. And welcome to my talk. And I'm going to talk about the journey of security automation. So in this talk, we will also look at the automation through a practical point of view using an open source tool called NodeArray, and we will share the journey of especially the difference between the basic automation and AI. And welcome to ask any question you may have. So before we go to more details about the tool side, and let's first I'll just do a brief introduction about myself. Before I start what I'm doing now, I was a developer in Microsoft. I have developed the tools, AI tools, automations for the SOC Center, the SOC for Office 365, which used to protect the Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Linux, so on. And as a developer myself, I wrote lots of things for helping Microsoft to better defend their critical infrastructure. And as many of you may know, and I have experienced the similar stuff that writing code right is not an easy thing. And most times, sometimes you know it works, sometimes it's not working, and you just don't know why, but actually it actually works. And practically speaking, everyone knows that developers are expensive. And in a security operations center, if you hire separate developers to do stuff, and which to some degree will slow down the process of your security operation, preventing you to react, analyze, and respond to security threat as fast as possible. So in my spare time, we did some research, and I think this kind of no-code tools, it's not a new concept. It has been invented for many years, and we happen to find this one. This no-code tool is called NodeArray. So surprisingly, if you go to GitHub and search for this one, actually it's very popular. It has over like 10,000 of people in the community, and it has over 3,000 of integrations, almost across all kinds of applications. IoTs, primarily IoTs, devices, and cloud, so on and so forth. Lots of people are actively contributing to the open source tool for the automation. I find it's very, I see lots of people using it, and it gets lots of good attractions, and I find it's not super popular in cybersecurity areas. We did some try, and I found it actually very useful to solve lots of problems you may have in your security operations. I'll get into that part details with more demos, but on a high level, so there's three components. The NodeArray stuff is basically a browser-based drag and dropping tools. You can assemble things and start to run. And it's built on the hood. It's built on the Node.js framework, and it has lots of great functionalities, and it's very easy to share between teams. Before getting to the other use cases, I'll get you a quick demo, like showcase what kind of things is NodeArray, and see what kind of possibilities it can bring to help your team. So this is basically the NodeArray interface. So on the left side, you can see lots of different integrations, tons of them. And this is basically the canvas you can use to create a simple automation. So there are two basic things I can quickly demo. And one is that so it's typically, as many tools, it needs some triggers. So it's neither an input, it's an output. So this node basically represents input and output. So what I'm doing here is I'm just connecting them. And then I'm going to provide. This is timestamp information. Let's give a little bit concrete information. Let's see. Let's see, our word was getting uploaded to the window. And so this is like an ad hoc thing. So once you start automating, you want to periodically run these kind of things. Now you can start periodically run these kind of things at a certain interval. Let's say 1 second. Let's say give like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So now you start to automatically run. It's like a cron job, like if you run like Linux or something, like cron job start to run. But without and with a nice UI, so that you can drag and drop to create nice things. So let's stop this one. So this is the basic input box for the array, which takes input and output something as a scale job. So the other common like building block is the REST API. So say you have a ServiceNow, you have other like tools, you want to expose endpoints for other things to quickly trigger your automation. So let's get a REST API service. So they have the REST API endpoints. So imagine like you are running API endpoints. Now you don't need to write code. You just drag and drop, you create this kind of endpoints. So let's say drag and drop, and then let's give an endpoint. Let's call it like don't need to give a name anyways. And let's give an output here. In here, say we're let's show you how it works. So with these 3 nodes, basically I build a HTTP endpoints. Now you can query these automations, trigger these automations, and get results. So I'm testing using the Postman. And let's say I use a DSize SQ. Just send a query to this the new API endpoints I just built, and now you see we get back results, hello world. So these 2 examples, basically I showed 2 building blocks. One is you can do a scalar job. The other one you can build up HTTP endpoints and get triggered automatically. I mean on the left side, there are lots of integrations. I will get those parts in a second. But this is the fundamental part of this kind of node array. And once you pull other nodes into here, you can start building more complicated functionalities for the subscript operations. I'll get to that part in a second. And before that, so far so good. Any questions so far? Okay, good. So before I get to the demo part on the subscript operations, let's do a high level overview, like what kind of things we have find useful in terms of like security operation. So one example is about this kind of threat monitoring. So say you have data, like you worry about your data was leaking through this kind of public communities. For example, PestBin. PestBin exposes API endpoints, and we can use you see the schedule job, you use schedule job to continuously monitor PestBin, and then you set certain criteria, matching your company's domain, and then you automatically send emails. So that's one example that we use to monitor external data leaking. Security auditing, like if you have like AWS, you have lots of accounts that you want to check whether everyone have the MFA enabled, whether everyone have the password auto-rotation enabled, and we have this stuff have integration with AWS, so you can schedule run to make sure give you a report, give you a notification if someone is not satisfied your security policies, security audit. The third part is security analysis. I mean, take an example. I mean, there are lots of a complicated part of security analysis, endpoints, firewalls, so on and so forth. But let's look at a standard one like phishing emails. Say someone reporting your phishing emails and you want to analyze the phishing emails. And you want to analyze the headers, you want to analyze the senders, you want to analyze the order links, you want to analyze the attachments. All those kind of things can be automated through this kind of simple automation through Node-RED platform. The reporting, I think in the previous conversation, in the talk that we also gave that there's siloed data everywhere, siloed tools everywhere. I mean, some companies are using Teams to do this kind of reporting. But you know, there are lots of popular BI tools like Power BI, like Google Data Studios. And if you have siloed data, if you say your data is in vulnerability, your data have in your cross-site endpoints, you have your data in maybe in the cloud, and you want to just generate a nice report to aggregate everything. Now, like with the integration with the Node-RED, you can pull all this data continuously and dump data into Power BI, use Power BI to create a nice report for the management to review. So this is the reporting. You can use it to create a nice report. Super quick. Firewall management, say you have like firewall rules and you have firewalls. Like you probably have different versions of firewalls. You have Palo firewalls, you probably have SolarWinds and a variety of different kinds of firewalls. And once you have found something malicious, you want to ensure every firewall get updated the rule sets. With this kind of like silo tools, but also through this kind of Node-RED, so you can make sure your rules get enforced in all the firewalls immediately. I mean, there are other scenarios like in firewalls management. You have, for example, you have PNIDs, and you also want to make sure you keep those kind of PNIDs or allow this updated every 3 months. In some ways, you can continue to monitor, connect with your threat intelligence, to verify whether the allowed list or PNID is still high. I mean, those kind of automations, you don't want to do like manually. You want it to be automated for you. I mean, those are good examples we find useful using this kind of automation tools. Some administrative tasks, I mean, this is particularly useful for the CISOs. Say, your team, you have a new employee got onboarded, and you want to make sure their account was automatically added to all your security tools. And more important than that, when a user gets the permission, you want to make sure that all their account was removed from the SaaS environments or all their tools. And this kind of automation is quite useful to reduce the risk there. I mean, there are lots of those scenarios. I mean, like red team, you want to do recon or all those kind of things. I mean, there's lots of potential there. Without further ado, I will let's get to some demos. So the first demo is related to what Wilson was talking about, this kind of threat and intelligence. You have a variety of different data sources. So say you have a VirusTotal, you have Shodan, you have Abuse, IPTV, all this kind of like IB, like the open source rating or enterprise version of threat and intelligence. You want to be able to consolidate. So this example I'm showing you is that it is a simple example. Basically, you input the IP 8.8.8.8, which is IP, and we can go through the threat intelligence and give you all the information. Let's just connect it with the first one. We are run this one, so you can automatically basically it's retrieve the API for this kind of IPGeo. I give you the information about this IP, which time zone it is, where's the latitude, longitude, so on and so forth. same thing here. Let's look at so this is VirStable. VirStable, you have to basically get a credential here for VirStable server. Once we have this one servers, let's hook up with this one so you can see. So you will start to pull the VirStable information for you. Give you all the detected URLs related to this IP. So now you started to getting all the thread intelligence from all the data sources. And if you want to consolidate, now you have the information in one place to consolidate. Let's just show one more example. I mean, this is similar stuff. Let's show that. Now it's getting the intelligence from Shodan. I mean, there are lots of things we can try, but so this part is related to the threat intelligence you can use to analyze your alerts, analyze your other things. I think with this example, so I'm going to slowly building up a workflow that we can build up automation that we can use to analyze the phishing emails. So this is correlated with phishing. And to analyze phishing, so before we correlate with threat intelligence, you need to be able to parse those kind of information, emails. So the other part is to how do we parse these kind of emails. So for emails, there are lots of like also build on like modules. Help you to give a text extra URLs, give a text extra IPs automatically, give you attachments automatically, parse those kind of nested attachments and calculate hash. I mean, there's lots of small components here. I think the benefits of this kind of things is that so you don't need to rebuild those kind of low-level things. I mean, you can do. I mean, there's some tools they can do the end-to-end, but these tools, if you want to do it by yourselves, and it saves time to write code. So this example, basically, I'm using a simple node that I want to take a piece of random text and want to extract the URLs. So this is particularly useful if you give alerts or if you give emails and give you like URLs that you will analyze, and you don't need to click them, but now you get the URL, the real URLs out, and you can analyze it with your threat intelligence. So basically, in the input, I'm just doing an example here. And the text. So the output is so you automatically output the URLs out of these functions. So now it's output the URLs that come out of this piece of text. So in this one, we look at threat intelligence. In this one, we look at parsing the data, analyze the key text. So now let's go to the real phishing email analyzing workflows. So in this workflow, it's reading phishing emails, like reporting phishing emails, whether that's in Gmail or whether that's in the Outlook, and parse based on the parsing the community here, parse the nested emails, parse the artifacts. And then you go to check with URLs in the VirStable, and then you will do a switch is the functionality like traditional based on the information from VirStable. If it's malicious, we will send the emails. We'll send the emails back to my emails. If not, with the content phishing email detector, even phishing emails, and if not. It will send a different thing, like no issue responding these emails to my inbox. And this is an email that's automatically sent out to the emails. So I have a test sample here. It's under my folders, phishing news. So these emails will automatically read back emails, like phishing emails, and analyze them and send me back the emails. So let's see. So you can see the little dots here, which means the node is processing right now is in the steps of query the varchar information. So the API call usually takes some time, but it's nearly in real time yet. Okay. So I mean, this is the information coming out of the data directly, and I should receive an email that tell me phishing email detected with the email subject and with the content. With little modification here, you can instruct it to delete this email from your inbox. If you find that email is malicious, you can delete it. You can delete this email from in your inbox. But otherwise, I mean, you can receive a quicker and simple ways to analyze the phishing emails. There are more scenarios. I don't have to make everything. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Let's go back to the. Go back to the top here. So the nice thing about this, actually. Yeah, the nice thing about this kind of automation is that, from a developer point of view, as I keep working on this stuff for a while, so we don't need to rebuild the wheels in terms like the building blocks. But meanwhile, we need flexibility to assemble them and build up like a new logics that satisfy different departments. So say you have different departments, or your manager changing your mindset, or whatever the people have been changing in your team. So these kind of things, first they can either help you to manage all your automation in one place, but also let you to quickly tweak those kind of logics to satisfy any kind of new requirements. And one great thing is that once they have this kind of sharing functionalities, you can once you export to the board, basically you can see all of see the whole thing is within JSON format. You can transfer and share with other colleagues, other teams for the saving of time. What do you think? It's awesome, or is it?
Great. No, it is awesome. Just curious, one, do you have any of your some of the workflows? I imagine these kind of people. I'm curious if you have any other ones that give a place to get information available. What all are some of the example workflows?
Yeah. It's first on the way, like the website have lots of examples like the templates or something.
Okay.
Second, there's we have the GitHub.
do you have a Docker image for this? Like, is there like a,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
okay.
something we can give.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You without Docker image, I mean, it's for you to set up, like, just npm install, that's it. npm install, you can run like two command or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just like some observations, when I speak with those kind of automations, I think there's some people objections. The first objection is that people worry that their infrastructure is not mature enough to automate. So I think my feedback is that we don't need to wait for everything to be mature to start automation, and you can start at just with one. There's going to be something like it. The number two is that so people worry about automation will take away my job. So, I mean, security is you shouldn't worry. There's always a problem in the cybersecurity and its enemies, and the MUI, I mean, actually is a good opportunity. Should look at it. It's like how you make the cybersecurity efficient. In this kind of content. So we talk about automation. I think in last presentation, like in Wilson's presentation, I think Alex was talking about AI and put the AI into the base feed. So I think there are lots of things, lots of bad words in AI. I mean, alongside basically AI is the last version of automation. I think that's will go like with maturity, with your applications. But we need lots of efforts. I mean, the core community needs some efforts to really demystify the AI. So basically, like I think like basic automation, like a load rate or whatever automation, and it's like human-defined logic, pre-built like your own logic. It's not like dynamic changing. It's like put a rules there and say, oh, if this IP like this like 10 times in 5 minutes and 5 hours. So it's like a very fixed ways of defining the logic set, the little machine to run this kind of things. And on the other end is the AI, where AI typically are performing tasks that a human used to do. And in the middle is machine learning. Where machine learning is considered one available AI. But the majority are based on the patterns that learn from AI. So typically, I think you know that when people talk about AI or whatever, it basically means like there's no true AI anytime soon. But we do see that there are lots of applications, like real applications that can be applied to security operations, especially security operations center. I mean, that's part of the security detections. Probably you guys already seen that or benefit that because that's behind the scene. But those kind of ML have been already widely applied to these kind of detections. I think probably this kind of concept, I mean, you guys probably already know, but just for the knowledge purpose, there are two types of machine learning. One is supervised, one is unsupervised. I mean, the difference between supervised versus unsupervised is that so the supervised requires labels, and unsupervised doesn't require labels. You give the data and you output the patterns. And supervised ways is good for classifications, like recognize an image is dog or predict whether it's good or tomorrow. Unsupervised ways, I mean, especially in cybersecurity, I think there's at least in the secure operating center, there are a couple of use cases like classroom, grouping alerts by the type of similarities, and anomaly detections by non-normal things. Logs in your alerts or whatever in your environments. So those are unsupervised approach. So there definitely some part of the machine learning we have been like a real issue, but actually it's super important is that machine learning is going to be majority of machine learning going to be a black box. I think some example like this, AI deny my creativity. I mean, when you see this one, I mean, in the security analysis, they cannot understand what that means, so they will get confused. They don't know what action they should take after this. Because under the hood, this kind of black box machine learning is learning some mystery models, and sometimes it's too complicated to explain. And if we cannot explain it, and we cannot take action on them, and it's not useful for this kind of practical applications in a secure operation center. So we have to be very mindful of this kind of pitfalls of machine learning. After years of practice, I think the really practical applications of machine learning only majority relies on those kind of unsupervised approach. And the supervised ways probably, I think there's some part they can be practical, but there's some work has to be done to make it more available to the community. Just quick overview of two examples. One is what we think is useful for the secure operation center. One is the alerts clustering. So say you have a bunch of alerts from endpoints, network, firewalls, vulnerabilities, and the cloud. I mean, some centers have lots of alerts. The way those kind of things, the way that the machine learning can look at those kind of data, and bring those kind of symmetric things into one part, but based on patterns that will usually save security lifetime. Whether that's a true positive or false positive, either way, help you to understand the context. The other thing is about this kind of risk of prioritizations. I think when we talk about risk of prioritizations, I think there are lots of mechanisms here. People may, I think some people, risk prioritizations for security analysis or risk prioritization based on the organization. I mean, there are two different levels. But I'm talking about like the risk prioritization for the sub teams. And so there's a rule-based approach you can look at, like where this asset is internal facing, external facing, is that for user, is that for employee, is that important assets or not, and you can define lots of things there. But the chief thing is that so you have to continue to tune this kind of things. The lot of factors will be changing all the time. For example, the type of detections. Let's say brute force attack. I mean, the post-mortem rate, the fidelity of those kind of detections will change all the time, and they also change the rate for different companies' environments. So with that, those kind of things, the TT tuning, that's part of what the machine learning can do a very good job here, is to be able to pick up those kind of data, digital data, and be able to update those kind of risk scores over time. And also learn from some of your attacks. Say you find this detection is a high fidelity, or this type of users tend to be very noisy. Those kind of things, those kind of factors should be used to factor your risk conditions. Yeah, just two simple use cases. Let's conclude my talk on this kind of automation and AI. In just a quick summary, so try Motivate. It's open source, it's free, so give it a try, and it helps you automate some of your tasks. And there's some practical use case of ML, just be aware of some pitfalls of ML, but sure you understand it.